Good evening, everyone. Thank you for spending your Friday evening with us at the International Baccalaureate IB Exploration Day, or night, obviously. I'm Shasha, and I'll be your host for tonight's event. I would like to first introduce our team here with us. We have Mr. Heath Condro, our principal, the IBDP coordinator, Mr. Mark Milberg, Ms. Lau Fan Fan, the head of admissions and administration, Ms. Hanisa, the IBDP CAS coordinator, and you will learn more about CAS later during Mr. Milberg's session. And we have our guest speakers today, Mr. Faizol Musa from the International Baccalaureate Organization, and we have two of our alumni who's joining us all the way from wherever they are, TN and also Whye. All right, okay. As we progress with the program, I would like to go through a few reminders. First and foremost, to minimize any interruption, we seek everyone to mute your cooperation to mute your microphone and deactivate your camera during the talks and the presentations. We ask you to please be patient if there is any technical glitch. We will also be having a Q&A session at the end, so we do hope that you'll be participative enough, all right? And if you have any questions along the way while we're actually having our talk, a chat, do use the chat function from the Zoom. You will see at the bottom of your screen and type out your questions, and we will try to attend to all your questions at the end of the session. Right, ladies and gentlemen, the International Baccalaureate Program is one of the fastest growing pre-university programs in the world that is being taught in schools over 140 countries and is still growing at the moment. So without further ado, for tonight, I would like to invite our principal, Mr. Heath Condro, for a welcome remark and a quick introduction to Sunway International School. Mr. Condro, over to you.
Thank you very much, Shasha. On behalf of Sunway Education Group, the Jeffrey Chia Foundation, and especially Sunway International School and its staff and teachers, I want to thank all of you this evening for taking the time to join us. To take your time on a Friday evening after a long week of work is probably not what most people are wanting to spend their Friday evening doing, but it's important to note that education and choosing the right education is an important decision for everybody, whether it's parents, students, teachers certainly are involved in those discussions. And so for you to give us your time on this Friday evening is very, very much appreciated. As I said, the decision to find the right educational program for any child is an important one, and I think it is testament to any parents that have joined us that the importance of that is not overlooked. We have the opportunity to hear tonight from a number of very, very well-informed individuals regarding our IBDP program specific to Sunway International School, as well as hear about the experience from two of our former students. And hearing about that experience is very, very important. So without saying much more, I do want to send a special thank you and welcome to TN and to Whye who have joined us, as well as one of our repeated guests who is always supporting our efforts and our events to promote IBDP for Sunway International School, Mr. Faizol Musa. So on behalf of the school, again, thank you very much for taking your time to join us this evening. And I hope you find the evening rewarding. Ms. Shasha will navigate everybody through the evening. And towards the end, we'll have the follow-ups if there's any questions, email contacts, anything like that. But hopefully we have an opportunity to answer all of your questions during the session tonight. So again, thank you for spending your time with us this evening. And I'll turn it back over to you now, Shasha.
Thank you, Mr. Condro, for your quick introduction. So now we will move on to the next speaker, Mr. Faizol Musa, the Development and Recognition Manager for Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Southeast Asia from the IB organization, with his talk on IBDP, opening doors to universities worldwide.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. Good evening. Thank you, Sasha, for introducing me, and thank you to Sunway International School, to Dr. Chang, Mr. Condro, Mr. Milberg, and the rest of the team for inviting the IB and myself to join the event this evening. I hope that everyone here is well and safe. Thank you for spending your Friday evening, for this session. And as mentioned by Sasha, okay, let me try. Okay, as mentioned by Sasha, the title of my presentation today is Opening Doors to Universities Worldwide, for the IB Diploma Programme. And but before I start talking about the IB Diploma Programme, for the benefit of those who never heard about the IB before, so I'll be sharing brief information about the IB organization. So IB organization was founded in 1968 in Geneva. It is a not-for-profit foundation. There are 3 IB Global Centers. I'm attached to the IB Global Center in Singapore. And we have the other center in Netherlands and also Washington, D.C. And our assessment center for IB Diploma Programme, IB Middle Years Programme, and IB Care-related program is located in Cardiff, UK. And our new Director General who just joined us in May is Mr. Olli-Pekka Heinonen. So he was the Director General for Finnish National Agency for Education before he joined the IB. And if you have any question, as mentioned by Sasha just now, feel free to type out on the chat function. I'll answer that later. And as of June 2021, there are 7,466 programs across 5,555 schools. Nice number, in 159 countries. Sasha mentioned 140, but now we have 159. We are operating in 159 countries worldwide. There are more number of IB programs than IB schools, because some schools such as SIS in Iskandar, they are authorized to offer more than 1 IB program. So SIS in Iskandar, they are authorized for IBDP and IBCP, and currently seeking authorization for IB MYP Middle Years Program. And for SIS Bandar Sunway, they are authorized for IB Diploma Programme. And yes, it is one of the fastest growing pre-university qualification in the world. And we also work with state schools, although that many top international schools offer IB programs. But as you can see on the slide, there are 56% of IB schools are state schools. The reason is because IB have formal collaboration and partnership with governments around the world. We have formal partnerships with this government, as shown on the slide, and including in Malaysia. Right. And this is the IB mission. So the IB aims to develop inquiring, knowledgeable, and caring young people who help to create a better and more peaceful world through intercultural understanding and respect. And IB programs encourage students across the world to become active, compassionate, and lifelong learners. And here is the IB learner profile. The IB learner profile. So there are 10 IB learner profiles: inquirers, knowledgeable, thinkers, risk-takers, open-minded, reflective, communicators, principled, balanced, and caring. So these 10 attributes of the student reflect the holistic nature of an IB education. So IB educators help students to develop this attribute over the course of the IB education, and the development of this attribute in the foundation of developing internationally minded students who can help to build a better world, as per IB mission just now. Right, so let's now talk about the IB Diploma Programme. So IB Diploma Programme is a 2-year disciplinary-based program for students aged 16 to 18-year-olds, depending on the school structure. So it is a 2-year program. In international school context or structure, it is meant for grade 11 and 12, but it depends, yeah, on the schools. There are schools that offer for grade, if let's say, you know, it is a K to 13 school, yeah, so it might be offered to grade 11, 12 and 13 student, but otherwise grade 11 and 12. IBDP student must choose one subject from each of the 5 subject group, 1 to 5. As you can see on the slide, there are 6 groups, but mandatory for students to, in order to obtain IB diploma, they must take at least one subject from group 1 until group 5 and choose either one of the group 6 subject or a second subject from group 1 to 5. Yeah. So if the student, for example, is planning to pursue medicine, yeah, they might, the student might need to do 2 sciences. Yeah. So the student may opt not to do group 6 in order to do 2 sciences from group 4. Yeah. So DP student can be taken at higher level or standard level. Yeah. At least 3 and not more than 4 subjects are taken at higher level, 240 teaching hours, while the other subjects are taken at standard level, 150 teaching hours. So IB give the flexibility to the student in terms of what subjects they want, the student want to do at higher level based on their interests, the student's strength, and what they plan to do after the IB diploma. Yeah, so IB give that flexibility, but IB still wants student to have the right, balanced combination of subject from different groups in order to prepare the students for the university and beyond. Yeah, and the DP also features 3 core elements: TOK, theory of knowledge, CAS, creativity action service, and extended essay. Yeah, core element. I'm not sure. I think Mark might be sharing more about the DP core later. Yeah.
Yes,
right.
I will.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Okay, and DP student, they take written examination at the end of the program, May or November session, which is marked externally by IB examiners. So students also complete assessment tasks in the school, which are either initially marked by teachers, such as Mark, and then moderated by external moderators or sent directly to external examiners. And the mark awarded for each course range from 1 to 1, which is the lowest, to 7, which is the highest. And students can also be awarded up to 3 additional points for their combined result on theory of knowledge and extended essay. The diploma is awarded to students who gain at least 24 points, subject to certain minimum of performance across the whole program, including CAS, and the highest total for a DP student can be awarded is 45 points. And the world average is 30.30, as you can see on the slide. And you can see a very small number of students get 45, and that is not the ultimate objective that all students will get 45, yeah, because universities, they value the students' journey, yeah, how they take even 24 points, you know, as a DP student will get a placement at good universities, yeah. Right. Yeah. So I mentioned about the extra requirements. So this is to add the competitiveness of IB Diploma program. That's why universities, they like IB Diploma because of it's so rigorous and the requirement is so high for students. And later you can hear from Whye and also Lian. Sorry, not Lian. Yeah, sorry about that. So you know, in terms of their experience in completing and obtaining their IB Diploma program. Okay, and eventually after they work so hard, you know, tight deadlines and then tight schedule as well, so eventually the student will get this prestigious IB Diploma certificate. And it's not, this award from the IB is called IB Diploma. And there's a certificate of result, or course result certificate that indicate the subjects taken during the IB Diploma Programme. Yeah, and it is signed by the Director General of the IB. Yes. Previously, it was Dr. Siva Kumari. Okay? And currently is Mr. Olipeka Hinonan. Okay, so where that certificate will bring the student. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about that, to inspire parents and students who attend this session today about the value of IB Diploma Programme. Yeah, so does it really a prestigious qualification and valued by universities worldwide, because students spend 2 years of in the school with a tight deadlines and schedule, and we will look at how universities value that. Okay, and as you can see on this slide, in terms of recognition policies developed by universities worldwide. In Malaysia, I can tell you, most universities, almost all universities recognize IB Diploma Programme because it is recognized by the Malaysian Qualifications Agency as equivalent to STPM, Sijil Tinggi Pelajaran Malaysia. So either to public or private universities, students will be able to be admitted through IB Diploma Programme. And I also shared on this slide other examples in other countries, top destination countries worldwide in terms of the general policies, and also where DP students from 2015 to 2019 globally managed to send their transcript, their transcript. They sent it to various countries worldwide, and as you can see, these are top destination countries, regardless whatever qualification the student take or during the pre-university. So these are the top countries for global student in terms of the mobility, international mobility. So IBDP students are not left behind in terms of submitting their transcript as well to those countries. And also later we'll talk about universities. I'll share you later. And this is just to quote comment from a local university, actually not really local, it's a foreign branch university in Malaysia, in terms of their why they value IB diploma student. The IB is a very relevant qualification for students seeking global education option and careers. The highly inquisitive nature of IB graduate has helped them thrive at Monash University, where they are challenged in their journey with us to apply themselves creatively and critically to becoming responsible global citizens who are seeking to make a difference in the world. Sounds like IB vision statement, really. All right. Okay. So I just want to show you example of DP recognition in the UK. There are many examples. You can approach Mark, and Mark also can approach me later to get in terms of Australia and other countries, New Zealand, America, on how universities there recognize IB diploma. So all universities in the UK recognize IBDP, autonomous. Different universities, they have different requirement, although that student can apply through UCAS, University College Admission System, where UCAS, they use official tariff conversion table. And King's College London and Leeds University consider 3As at A level to be the equivalent of an IB score of 35 points. So this is just an example. So that is in terms of the equivalency. Although that IB do not provide the equivalency between the grades between IB diploma and A level, but schools or universities worldwide, or regulators such as MQA, how they want to convert or to compare between A level or an IB, for example, they will use this UCAS tariff conversion table in order to see the level of IB score as compared to the A level. right. And in terms of the requirement, language proficiency requirement, so the IB, the IB actually commissioned the National Recognition Information Center for the UK for an independent comparative study of DP language courses at the CEFR. Yeah? And the results show that DP English language courses develop all four language skill: reading, writing, speaking, and listening with comprehensive assessment. And all courses have at least one grade that can be considered comparable to CFR V2, the level most commonly required by university admission departments. So many universities, they accept scores for DP language courses as proof of language proficiency. And this study aims to to aid this institution in to determine language proficiency requirement to DP students without the need to require additional testing by examining how the level such as of English language such as IELTS and TOEFL, yeah? Right, or non-native English speakers. So just sharing with you a few statistics in terms of the DP growth. As you can see, there are more and more DP students globally, and currently there are 3,649 authorized IB Diploma Programme schools globally, yeah, and Sunway International School in Bandar Sunway is one of the authorized DP schools, yeah. And assessment statistic, this is the comparison in terms of the performance of DP students in Malaysia as compared to their peers in the Asia Pacific and also globally. Yeah, as you can see on the slide, yeah, Malaysian students, yeah, in 2020, just look at that, 98.20%, yeah, pass rate in terms of the pass rate. And then average grade for the subject is 5.72. Now remember that 1 is the lowest, 7 is the highest. Also above IB Asia Pacific. IBAP referred to IB Asia Pacific. I should change that to Asia Pacific. Sorry about that. Yeah. Average point is 35.96 for 2022. So this is, although that there are May and November session, but this is the average, yeah, between two sessions, May and November session, yeah. And school, they can only choose one session, yeah. So as you can see, Malaysian students, DP students in Malaysia, yeah, in terms of the average point is much higher than global average and also the Asia Pacific average. And I mentioned to you in terms of the, 45 points is not the ultimate objective, but Asian students, they're very competitive. So you can see 301 students in Asia Pacific actually get 45 points as compared to the global. Yeah, so that out of global, for 467 student who got perfect point, 45 point in 2 sessions, May and November, 300 are from Asia Pacific. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. And then country destination for DP students from Malaysia. So this is between 2014 to 2019. And we track this based on the transcript because IB students are able to send to 6 universities of their choice. One of it is UCAS. Yeah, no, sorry. If UCAS, if you send to UK universities through UCAS, that will count as 1. Yeah. So as you can see, United Kingdom actually is the highest in terms of the country destination. And then followed by Australia, Canada, US, and Malaysia. Okay. And then this is the university destination for DP students from Malaysia, yeah, between 2014 to 2019. As I said, UCAS, University College Admission System in the UK, is counted as 1, yeah. So many students apply, although that Some of them might apply directly to University of Manchester, as you can see there, Edinburgh. Yeah? But most of the students actually, if let's say they apply to the UK, they will apply through UCAS. Yeah? Okay, right. So I would like to share with you and to inspire, to further inspire as your parents and students who attend this session today in terms of the why they should choose DP, yeah, as the pre-university qualification. So DP student aspiration for so I just want to show you a few example of the research conducted by third party, not by the IB, but by other organization, either commissioned by the IB or you do it independently, yeah, in terms of the student outcome after they completed the DP. Yeah, so this study is by RTI International. So it talk about DP student aspiration for level of degree at the beginning and end of the DP by percentage. Yes, you can see DP student, they remain aspired until the end of the DP. Yeah, because of course, before you do the qualification, usually you are very, aspire, and then perhaps after you do it, you might want to change your mind. But as you can see, DP student, they remain inspired, yeah, to do bachelor's degree, master's degree, and as you can see, in terms of the doctoral degree, there's increase also, yeah, on that particular level. That proof also in terms of the IB mission statement that want to develop students who are lifelong learner. Remember, right? So it's proven here that IB students, yeah, they are lifelong learners because through IB education, IB Diploma or IB Career-related Program or MYP, yeah, so students will be equipped with the skills to learn. Yeah, they know how to learn. Yeah, and they will be inspired to learn as well. Yeah, to become lifelong learner. And this is about DP student aspiration. In terms of the which university. Yeah, in terms of how to say, as you can see here, yeah, almost 92% of students aspire to very good, a top level university at the beginning of, at the end of the DP. Yeah. Okay. And another research outcome, yeah, this is a comparison between IB diploma and A-level in terms of the qualities, yeah, in UK student, yeah, and in terms of encouraging independent inquiry, nurturing an open mind, developing self-management skill, encouraging a global outlook. So you can find this information, yeah, on IB website. There's a research page where you can find the research conducted by many parties, many organizations, in terms of the performance of DP students in the school and also universities and beyond. Yeah, so you can find this information there. So that will help you in terms of your study. Yeah, whether DP is the right pathway for your child. So yes, okay, and to convince you, yeah, as you can see here, the testimonials from top universities worldwide, including I highlighted here from Cambridge University. Cambridge University says, because the IB differentiate better than A-level, if we are hesitating about making an offer at all, we would be more likely to make an offer to an IB student than A-level, an A-level student. Yeah. Okay, and this article from Telegraph really helped to make people understand why IB diploma over A-levels. Yeah? Because spread of subjects, as you can see just now, balanced subject, yeah, balanced curriculum where and student can do CAS, community service, they do theory of knowledge where it's a course of critical thinking and interdisciplinary, yeah, and student avoid specializing too early, yeah, preventing student from giving up as well, because they are challenged during their pre-university years. Actually, 6 subjects plus 3 core components. You can hear later from students of Sunway how demanding and challenging during their pre-university life. Yeah, and this breadth does not come at the expense of depth, and the IB also offer a more integrated approach. Yeah. Okay, and developing of skills that allow them to flourish at university and beyond, and to promote the student will also have strong international dimension. And very important note from this article, yeah, King's College London and University of Leeds have both announced that this is old article, but they lower down the points expected from student, IBDP student, from 39 to 35 because they want more DP student to study. Okay, video. Yeah, so this is to
curiosity is the biggest key, and as humankind, I think we all have something, right? You're curious as to what's on the news, curious as to the results of a sport event, curious as, going to space and finding out what's beyond our solar system. So I think we all have that in us. For me, it was going to space. I watched, science fiction movies. My father took me down to Kennedy Space Center. We saw rockets. It always converged and came back to becoming an astronaut. The first 2 years as an astronaut candidate is a tough training period. But during that time, I was looking back and said, I did this before during International Baccalaureate. So it is a tough program and requires a lot of hard work. But once you overcome that and experience that, I think the rest down the road will be maybe a little easier.
Thank you very much.
My first flight was on board the Space Shuttle Discovery, and that was to assemble the Japanese module onto the International Space Station. So it was a big task for me as a rookie astronaut to go up there and actually install that module. On my second mission, we launched on the Russian Soyuz rocket. We docked to the space station and we stayed there for 4 months. There's a lot of people involved in each and every single task. There's instructors, there's scientists, there's flight controllers, there's safety people. And if it's a very difficult task and we overcame it, and when I see those people smile, that is the most rewarding for me. You have to respect each other. You have to understand each other. I think I learned that through my 2 years of studying International Baccalaureate. When I returned from my 4 months mission, strength-wise, I was okay. I was able to stand up and walk, but my balance was off for a couple of days, so I was like a little bit awkward. Then a couple of weeks after that, we hit the gym every day, and they torture us so that we can become Earthlings again. No, there's no alien. I can't tell you. And then I looked at Earth and, you know what? I'm on board the space station, but I wouldn't be here if we didn't have Earth. I wouldn't be in space, traveling alone. Earth was like a mother planet, and Earth was a very precious place for me. It's just breathtaking. I just can't wait to go back up again, and I hope everyone has a chance to go up there.
All right, sorry that I played the video too early. Yeah, he was Akihito Hoshide. Yeah, so he was an IBDP alumnus. Yeah? So I hope parents and importantly prospective students were inspired by the story, and there are many more success stories of DP students available on IB website. So there are many successful and well-known alumni, and some of them are shown on this slide. Hopefully prospective DP student and parents also got inspired, and the students particularly will follow their footsteps. And you will hear from Tien and also Whye after this about alumni from SIS as well, about their stories. And I believe with strong support from teachers at Sunway International School and Sunway, because they you know, in order to become an IBDP student, IBDP school, the school also need to be authorized, and they have to follow you know, a long authorization process, yeah, by the IB, and every 5 years the school will be evaluated again by the IB. So, and yeah, I hope that parents will be inspired and also from today's session. Yeah, that's all from me. Over to you, Sasha.
Thank you so much, Mr. Faizol, for the very informative session. So next, we would like to welcome Mr. Milberg, our IBDP coordinator, to share more about IBDP program at Sunway International School. Over to you, Ms. Milberg.
Thank you, Shasha. Let me talk to you about how IBDP is run at SIS. As Faizol mentioned, in IBDP, students take a language and literature course, they take a language acquisition course, they take a science course, they take an individuals and societies course, they take a math course, and they can either take arts or a second science or a second individuals and societies course. 3 of those courses are taken at the higher level, which means they have the same depth and scope as an A-levels course. 3 of those courses are taken at the standard level, which means they have about the same depth as the same course that they would take in Canada or America. They would be going to university knowing as much about their standard level course as any student that graduated from a North American university would know about that course. In a higher level course, they get about 120 hours of instruction per year. Their standard level courses give them about 75 hours of instruction per year. These are the courses that we offer at SIS KL. Every student takes English language and literature. Then they either take French ab initio, which is meant for students who speak no French at all, and we get them to the point where they can go to Paris and have a conversation. Or Mandarin B, which is meant for students who can read, write, speak, and hear Mandarin at about a UPSR level. You can see we offer 4 different individuals and societies courses and 4 different science courses. And you can see that environmental systems and societies is considered both. So we have some students that know they want to go into the sciences, and they'll often take environmental systems and societies as their humanities course, which allows them to take biology and physics, or biology and chemistry, or physics and chemistry. We have some students that know they want to go into the humanities, so they take environment as their science course, and that allows them to take psychology and economics, or business management and economics, or business management and psychology as their individuals and societies courses. We don't have a set timetable. Instead, the students choose the courses that they want to take, and then we try to build a timetable that allows everyone to get as many courses as they can. Faizol also mentioned that in addition to those 6 courses, there's something called the IBDP Core. The IBDP Core consists of a theory of knowledge course. This is like a half course. It's only about 55 hours per year, and it's a critical thinking course where students explore how we know things, the faults in how we acquire information, how people try to trick you. It's a wonderful and it's a challenging course. Over the 2 years of IB, the students spend about 50 hours working on an extended essay. They choose the subject, they choose the topic, they investigate something that they're really passionate about, and they're paired with a teacher who helps them through the process, teaches them how to do the kind of research necessary for that subject, helps them organize and craft their essay. This is a preparation for a thesis that they'll have to do in university. It's not worth a lot of marks in IB. But it's the process that matters, because when they get to university and they have to start doing a thesis or a few theses, that's easy for them because they've already gone through the process. As well, all of our IB students are involved in sports, they're involved in music and dance and art. They don't want to stop doing that. IB wants them to keep doing that. And IB wants students who are committed to the community. Maybe they're volunteering with their masjid or their church or their temple. Maybe there are community organizations that they are already part of. IB wants students to keep doing that. And it's easier to call that CAS than to say all of the words I've just said. Like Faizol mentioned, the final grade that a student gets in December of their second year is based on exams that they did at the end of second year, which were created by IB, marked by IB, and every student in the world does the same exam. And then there are internal assessments, because there's aspects of every course that aren't really appropriate for an exam. In real life, you don't have 2 hours to write an essay. You have weeks to do the research, to organize it, to revise it. In your sciences, there's a research component, doing experiments, developing experiments. You can't test that well in an exam. These internal assessments allow for that. So it ensures that IB students' grades represent the overall skills they have in that subject, not just what they remember for the exam. Faizol talked about the grading system already, so I'm going to skip through it quickly, but I will point out that only the top 5 to 10% of students in the world will get a 7 out of 7 on a course, and only 1% of students in the world will get a 45. So we often hear that IB is hard, IB is so hard. Well, it's true, it's really hard to get a 45, but it's also really hard to get 100% average on Ontario courses. It's really hard to get 4 A stars in A levels. But if you get a 45 or a 44 or a 41 or a 42, you've shown how strong you are, because every student in the world does the same exams. Generally, Oxford and Cambridge want students to have at least 41 points, because Oxford and Cambridge recognize, even if you're getting 6s in some subjects, you are amazing. One of the other things that makes IBDP great is that students are trained to do more than just exams. In every single one of their courses, they are doing research. Group work and presentations are happening in every course. In every course, students are learning about time management and stress management. These aren't assessed on the final exam, but they are skills that every teacher needs to develop in the students, and the students leave with these strengths. Let's quickly talk about a comparison of IBDP and OSSD. In OSSD, you take about 14 courses over 2 years, but remember, you're taking grade 11 chemistry and grade 12 chemistry. Whereas in IB, you're taking 6 subjects, such as chemistry, for 2 years. So essentially, an IBDP student and an OSSD student are taking up the same number of courses. The difference is that in IBDP, you're taking the same 6 subjects every week for 2 years. Whereas in OSSD, you take 4 subjects for 1 semester, and then 4 more subjects for the next semester. For some students, it's great that you can concentrate on only 4 things. For other students, it's really beneficial to be keeping everything in your mind at once. We always feel sympathy for those students that take math in first semester of grade 11 in the Ontario system, and then don't take math again until second semester of grade 12. You know by now that in Ontario courses, much of the assessment is developed by teachers, and marked by teachers. In IB, everything is external. Another very important difference for you to remember is that in IBDP, we're only allowed to have 1 intake each year. So our students start in January and they write exams in November of the second year. The students have the same calendar in both IBDP and OSSD though. So if you have a child in OSSD and a child in IBDP, you will get the exact same vacations. Faizol already spoke about this, so I'm going to skip ahead to this section. This is the timeline that I just spoke of. Classes start in January. Then they have mock exams at the end of the year. They have mock exams usually in August of year 2. And then in October and November of the second year, they write the final exams that were created by IBDP. Marks are released in December, so students that wish to go on to universities in Australia or New Zealand that start in February have their marks in enough time to go on to those universities on schedule. Another advantage of IBDP at SIS is IBDP wants courses to be taught the same way that they want Ontario courses to be taught, which means all of the teachers in the school are using the same strategies. And when something works in one class, then it can be easily transported to other classes. So all of our teachers are sharing ideas and doing combined professional development, which allows them to make IB classes strong. I showed this on a slide earlier, but a huge difference in our IBDP program is that our classes are very, very small. Our biggest class has 24 students, but that's the class that every student takes together. Since everything else is an elective, it's quite common for us to have classes that only have 5 or 6 or 7 students in them, which means students get a lot of personalized attention and a lot of feedback. Once a week, we have a colloquium. This is an 80-minute seminar where students learn about time management, stress management. They learn about research skills. We bring in university counselors who help them start their university planning and do university applications. It's also a chance for them to get to work with teachers to learn about their extended essay and to do CAS reflections. And every Friday between 12 and 1, we have an hour when students can meet with all of their teachers to get additional help, get advice for their extended essay, talk to teachers about CAS. Teachers are usually available every day before or after school, but it's great that there's an hour every Friday where everyone knows that everyone is available. These are the 6 strengths of IBDP at Sunway. Our students have access to everything on the Sunway College and Sunway University campus. All of our teachers are IBDP trained, and almost all of them are Ontario certified teachers. It won't surprise you to hear that our Mandarin teacher is not from Ontario because a Malaysian can do it better. Our IBDP students live in the same hostel as our OSSD students, and they can participate in the same free extracurriculars and co-curricular activities. You can see that our graduates have gone all over the world for university. And I'm sure you have questions. So after our alumni speak, I will be available to answer questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Milberg. So we'll now move along with our alumni sharing session. Joining us tonight, we have Tien, our graduate from our first ever IBDP cohort in 2018. She's joining us all the way from Canada when she's currently going to her 3rd year of undergraduate program. And we have another Leong Whye, another alumni of ours from 2019, who is currently studying in Germany. Hi, Tien. Hi, Whye. Welcome.
Hi, everyone.
Right. Right. So, Tien, it's summer there in Canada now, right? Where is it specifically are you in Canada?
So I'm currently in Ottawa, which is, as some of you may know, is the capital of Canada, not Toronto. And yes, it is summer. Right now it's 35 degrees outside, so it's quite hot here.
All right. Okay. So thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. Why don't you share a little bit about yourself with our guests and what you've been doing right now?
Hey, so hi everyone. My name is Tien. I am currently studying at the University of Ottawa an undergraduate degree in environmental studies, and I am in French immersion. So I'm required by my program to take 60% of my courses in French. And before I came to university, I was at SIS for 4 years. So I took the OSSD program and then transitioned into the IB program. And as you can hear from my accent, I used to live in Texas, and before that I used to live in India. So I've been everywhere.
All right, thank you so much, Tian. So let's move on to Whye. How about you, Whye? Can you introduce yourself a little bit to all our guests?
Yeah, hi, I'm Whye. I'm currently studying in the Technical University of Munich in Germany. I'm currently in the Heilbronn campus, which is one of TUM's site campuses, but I will be moving to Munich in about a month or 2 months' time. I joined SIS when I was in 2016, and I also, similar to Tian, did OSSD first, and then after that transitioned into the IB program. But even before that, before OSSD, I was in UEC, which is a Chinese school program. So I think I have a diverse view of how the school programs are and how they are different from each other. So yes.
All right, thank you so much, Whye. For everyone's information, Whye has actually just finished his final exam from his first year of undergraduate studies on Monday. So, and thank you so much, Whye, again, for ever ready to join us tonight. It's afternoon right now in Germany, right?
Yes, yeah. Now it's currently 2:41.
Okay, okay. I hope you had your lunch. All right. Okay. So, Whye, let's talk a little bit about why did you choose IBDP? Was there anyone that influenced you to study IBDP in the first place?
Well, definitely, I chose IB because of its cool name. Just kidding. Yeah, I chose IB actually because my parents told me about it, and then I decided for myself that I thought that I wanted to do something more special, something more challenging, something more global, that everybody would be that would be more attractive to universities or even to myself, because like what type of other program promotes this type of open-minded thinking and more special type of learning, because there's just nothing as intensive as the IB.
Right, thank you so much. So how about you, Tian? Was there anyone in your family or your friends that have to give you a nudge to do IB?
No, I think because I was the first batch in the IBDP program at SIS, and I remember when they first announced that they would be offering this to students, I was very excited because before SIS in my 8th grade, I was actually at IS KL, which is downtown in Kuala Lumpur. And at IS KL, if some of you may know, they do offer the IB program. So initially, I was already very excited in middle school to take IB. And then once I went to SIS and they decided to offer IB, I was excited on my own. And my parents, of course, encouraged me every step of the way.
All right, thank you so much, Tian. So moving from the Ontario program in your middle school in grade 9, 10, and then into the IBDP, what was your first impression, especially during the first year?
Is it me or Whye first?
It's still you, Tian, sorry.
Okay.
About that.
All right. So my first year was extremely overwhelming. I think I can say that confidently for both the students and the teachers because it was the first time that SIS had ever offered IB. So it was very overwhelming, and I definitely was hit with this knowledge that I'm in a much more rigorous program because as the other speakers said, you're studying a subject for 2 years straight, which means that right off the bat, you're delving into very deep subjects, and the teachers do their best with trying to ease you into it, but definitely coming from OSSD where you only study something for 1 semester versus studying it for 2 years, it's a very different experience.
All right, thank you so much. How about you, Whye? Was there any differences between studying for UEC, OSSD, and IBDP?
Yeah, definitely. There's like a huge difference. Like the IB, you require a lot of self-discipline, which of course in the first year you will struggle to find. You will not be able to like do the things that you need to be doing when in the first year, but you will slowly get into the rhythm. You slowly start knowing that like, oh yeah, I have to push myself. If not, like if I don't push myself, then like I'm just gonna like flunk everything. So in the first year, it was really stressful because you had to get used to working more harder, missing some of the social events that your friends were having because you just had to work on things that the IB required you to do. Yeah. So yes, that was my first year of experience in the IB.
Yeah, thank you for sharing with us. So, so how was your daily schedule during your 2 years of IBDP program? Just give us a brief run through about it.
Yeah, so in the IB, they want you to be quite a balanced student. So you have to integrate co-curriculum activities into your daily schedule. So for me, I had the fortunate chance to be in the rugby team of SIS, and we would have morning practices at 6 a.m. and we would then have 2 hours of practice, and then we would go to a full day of classes. And then by the time classes finish, sometimes you would have end of school activities like clubs like Model United Nations, which I think there's still many clubs in SIS that are very interesting to join. And after that, you would then have to go home, and then you would have to work on your assignments in the second year, especially with your IAs, with your TOK essay, with your extended essay. And it is very rigorous, especially since on top of all these assignments, you also have to review because there's also quite a very huge pool of content from 6 subjects that you have to really know. So yeah, it's quite difficult. Uh-oh.
Yeah, sounds quite intense. So, Tian, was your daily schedule anything similar to Whye? Hello,
Similar,
can you hear me?
Actually.
Sorry.
Hi. I think you were lagging a little bit. I think it's okay now. Okay. So yeah, my schedule was quite similar to Whye. I was also on the touch rugby team at SIS. And so I also had morning practices in the morning. And then like Whye said, it's a whole day of classes, very intense, like not to scare anyone, but because of how in-depth the IB subjects go, every day you would have like 5 to 10 minutes between your classes to turn off your brain, and then it's on to the next class and on to the next class. And then after such a day of classes, I usually had extracurriculars afterwards. So I would either continue rugby practice, or I also joined the swim team. So I was on the swim team as well as the rugby team. And there were also some days where I had poetry club, which I was the student leader of. After my clubs and activities, I would go home. And as you all know, Malaysian traffic is a beast, and it would take me at least an hour to get home. After that, it's just having a shower, have dinner, and then straight to the books. Or I would also take some time after school before my extracurricular activities to also talk to my teachers about my progress.
Right. Thank you so much, Tian, for sharing. So when you first started your university journey back in 2019, right?
Yes.
Now that you're already going into your 3rd year of your undergraduate studies, how do you think that IBDP has helped you to build your character or even study habits?
Yeah, so for sure, as you all probably have guessed, it requires a lot of studying. It requires a lot of self-discipline. But more than that, IB really requires you to be as disciplined and as good at keeping yourself motivated in all subjects. So you cannot only focus on, for example, if you're strong in the sciences, you cannot only focus on the sciences. You have to make sure that you're building up your writing skills. You have to make sure that you're building up your critical thinking skills through TOK. And so I think for sure that helped me a lot going into university, as my program is very interdisciplinary. I have a mix of both humanities and also a lot of labs in biology. And other than that, other than the study skills, I would also say study habits. So if any of you are going overseas for your university experience, if you live on campus, there's going to be a lot of social events. They really want you in your first year to get out there and meet other students. And of course, you should attend those events. And I did. I attended a lot of those events. But after those events, you need to build these habits to study right after, because university is also very intensive. And that's what IB helps me to do, develop those habits over time. And other than that, also taking initiative for my own education. Because IB is so rigorous, you really need to be self-aware of your strengths and your weaknesses. And I think a lot of students who maybe didn't have to study something for 2 years straight, they don't really understand what they don't understand. And I know that can sound a little counterintuitive, but once you understand the areas in the subjects that you need to work on, that you need to ask questions on, it's still up to you to come up to your teachers and ask for extra help, which in university is going to help you because you're going to have at least 100 different classmates in the same lecture hall. The professor is not going to notice that you're struggling. You have to go up to the professor yourself to ask. And I think that's really set me apart in first year.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Tian, for sharing. So, Whye, how about you? Have you started applying what you have learned during IBDP years into your first year of university life?
Yeah, definitely, like 100% that you will use the skills you get from IB in especially your first year. I think if you were to not do the IB, you wouldn't have the self-discipline, the focus to actually succeed in your first year, because you can see like a lot of my friends that didn't do the IB, they struggle to be able to keep up with the vigorous level of a university level course. But because I did the IB, I knew like how to study, like what I needed to do, what to focus on, what the techniques are from IB, because if I didn't learn these during the IB times, I wouldn't have been successful in the course. But now, because of that, I am able to apply these things that I had learned in the IB to my actual university career. And I think that is something that I find very valuable about the IB. Yes.
Thank you so much, Whye. Okay, so before we end the session, so maybe we can ask you both to give a piece of advice to anyone, any of the students that are still deciding whether or not they should do IB. Maybe Whye, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so definitely the IB is very challenging. It's very, very rigorous. It's definitely not for anyone, not for everyone, because it requires a level of like focus. Not saying that not everyone can do it. It's just that you need to be really ready to challenge yourself, and that you want to challenge yourself, because if you don't want to challenge yourself, it's not going to go well for you in the IB. If you just be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna start with my extended essay, I'm gonna do it like in the 1 month before it's due, you're not gonna be successful in the course. I definitely, some people can be successful, but like it's gonna be not that great of an experience for you, because losing out on some social gathering, some fun time, and that you will be constantly under stress. I would say, like, I'm pretty sure all IB students would agree that you are feeling a bit stressful most of the times because of how rigorous the program is. So my advice would just be prepared, and that you know that you want to challenge yourself, and that's why you're in the IB.
All right, thank you so much for that advice. So how about you, Tian? Anything that you want to, your parting advice for our upcoming students, for your juniors?
Yeah, so I agree with Whye. It's very stressful, it's very challenging, and you definitely need to mentally prepare yourself. But I guess my biggest advice is that you're not alone. You know, your classmates are also going through the same amount of stress, sometimes more, sometimes less, but all of you are facing this journey together, and your teachers, more importantly, are also there for you. So as the previous speakers mentioned, the teachers are not the one writing the exam. And the people that are teaching you also want to see you succeed. And so you really need to, like I said, take ownership of your own education. And if you need help, you should reach out for help. You're not struggling alone. The teachers are there to guide you, to teach you. And in the end, they also don't know what's going to be on the exam. So obviously they want to help you as much as they can, right? But unfortunately, you know, it's really up to you to understand where you need help and where you need extra guidance, and to take the initiative to go up and ask for that help. So I really encourage everybody, especially in the first year when things are really overwhelming and you're still learning about how IB works while you're studying it, to really reach out for help. Because I think, especially in my first year of IB, since it was the first time that SIS ever offered it, we felt a lot of pressure, not intentionally, but we felt a lot of pressure from our parents, from our friends, from the school, to be like, we are the top students in the school, so we have to do everything ourselves. But that's not the case. You have a good support system at SIS. Like Mr. Milberg said, the classes are very small. So take advantage of that, and you're going to be stressed. It's going to be overwhelming, but you're not going to be alone.
All right, thank you so much, Tian. Thank you so much, Whye, both of you for taking the time to join us today. Well, technology really connects us together, especially during the pandemic like this. So even if you're in Germany or even if you're in Canada, you're still willing to come back and do this sharing session with everyone.